What's up, guys? It's Jeff. Today is Tuesday, October 18th, and I just want to make a quick video, or maybe a long video, on binding. This is something that I wanted to talk about because I sort of did it every possible way that you could do it wrong. So I'm hoping to get some information out there so that you guys don't make the amateur mistakes that I made when I first started with binding. I mean, for me, I always wore men's underwear, like boxers, boxer briefs, so like binding was the first step that I took towards really making my appearance more masculine. I mean, I don't think I've worn a real bra in over a year, well over a year. Pretty much when I started to accept that I was trans, I knew immediately that I wanted to start binding. I always hated my chest, so now it's like I had this reason why. So once I started binding, I really never went back. Binding should be uncomfortable but not painful. I really wish that people had told me that, but I didn't really have, I don't know, trans people in my life. I went to a very heteronormative college, for lack of a better word, so like nobody could have even told me, and I was very much in the closet about it in the beginning. So I thought that binding was supposed to be excruciating, and that's how you were going to get flat, and that's how it was going to work. That is not the case, so I'm clearing that up right now. It should not be painful. Right now I am wearing a full length, double front compression shirt. I think it's got a long name, but it's from Underworks. As you can see, like, I am not perfectly flat, but I'm pretty flat. It's a size small. They have, like, ways to measure online, but, like, I'm right on the cusp between small and medium. So when I got this bad boy, it was really tight. Like, it hurt. I felt dizzy, and I figured that was normal because it was the first time that I was binding, and it was full length, so it was like, you know, it tugs on your ribs. Like, you can see that that's where the single compression is, and that's where the double is. So, like, it just pulls everywhere. So I was like, okay, this is normal. It's not normal. Luckily, well, not really luckily, I was stubborn, so I still wore it all the time, but now it's sort of stretched out a little bit because I've had it for 10 months, 11 months, something like that. So yeah, so now it's not killing me. Now I don't feel like I'm gonna pass out if I wear it for more than 4 hours at a time, but in the beginning it did. So first rule is make sure you properly measure yourself, and if you're on the cusp between like a small and a medium, or extra small and a small, or whatever it is, I strongly recommend going for the bigger size. I know that that's probably not what you want to hear. I don't know if other guys would recommend the same thing, but I think it's better to get reasonably flat and maybe hide your chest with different types of clothing or whatever, than to get totally flat and risk passing out or having like bruising on your ribs or something like that, because honestly I felt like shit a lot. I actually felt nauseous from how tight it was, like the first month that I had it, and I thought I was just getting sick, but now looking back I'm like, no, it was definitely binding. So that's the first rule. Second rule, if you can't afford a binder, even though the one that I got was like $30, I think I got free shipping or something, but anyway, it's bad times. So let's say you can't afford a binder, do not use Ace bandages, because I was using that for like 3 months before I got a binder, and honestly, that was even worse than having an overly tight binder. You run the risk of seriously hurting yourself. I've seen accounts on YouTube where guys have like fractured their ribs, bruised their ribs from binding too tightly, using Ace bandages, using duct tape. I've never personally used duct tape, but I knew someone who did, and he pretty much said that he fucked his shit up really bad. So don't use duct tape. If you're in a tight squeeze, like you don't want your parents to see your binder, or you can't afford a binder or whatever, just wear a sports bra. They have sports bras that even biological women get if they want to be really, really flat, if they're big chested or whatever while they're working out. Get one of those. They also have a sports bra called the Frog Bra. I'm going to put links to all of this in the description, but I've heard really good things about the Frog Bra in terms of just getting you really, really flat. And then that's good, so if laundry day comes around and mom's like, what the fuck is this? it's a little bit more reasonable if it's a sports bra and not a full undershirt made of like medical grade nylon or something. So that's that. Never put on 2 binders at a time. Some people double up, especially if they're big chested. I'm not particularly big chested. I think I'm somewhere between an A and a B. I've shrunk a little bit from being on testosterone, which has been lovely. But I mean, I still don't even get that flat. So don't be disappointed or dejected if, you know, you're a little bit larger and you can't get perfectly flat. It's understandable. It's not worth putting yourself through that pain and potential problems. Binding is constricting and annoying and hot and will make you sweat and will make you itch and may get annoying. Sometimes binders roll up. Sometimes binders just irritate your skin, like where it meets like your armpit or whatever, but ultimately it is the safest and best way to get a flat appearing chest. If for whatever reason you don't want to put up with all of those negative side effects, which believe me, I do not blame you, especially in the summer. I mean, binding is just terrible. But if you don't want to have to put up with all of that shit, I think that you should look for alternatives. Some people don't even bind at all. They just disguise their chest with the clothing that they pick. So, I mean, a button-up left open over a t-shirt can go a long way. A baggy sweatshirt or certain patterns and clothes, certain cuts of collared shirts, like all of these things can make you look much more masculine without you necessarily having to even do much to your chest. If you're fortunate enough to have a flat chest, you might be able to just wear like a tight A shirt or a wife beater or whatever. If you're larger, that might not be such an option, but you could experiment and see what works for you and what doesn't before you run out and get something that really is going to be very annoying to wear for about 8 hours a day. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some days where I put it on and I like don't even feel it. It's like wearing contacts. Sometimes contacts are really great. You don't even feel them. They're awesome. Other days they're annoying, they're dry, they're itchy. It's like that with a binder. You're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. Oh, don't wear it for too long either. When you first get it, you really should space out how long you wear it for. So, for example, maybe you wear it 4 hours the first day, take a day off, maybe like 6 hours the next day, but you should never exceed, even like now I've gotten better about it, but I used to break this rule. You really should never exceed wearing a binder for like 10 to 12 hours because, again, you're running the risk of really hurting yourself, fucking up your breathing, damaging your ribs, like whatever. But if you get the right size and you wear it for moderate periods of time, even every day, but moderate periods of time, you really will be fine. There's no long-term side effects. Word of caution though, because I actually have androgynous, queer, lesbian friends that are interested in binding. The only thing to keep in mind if you're not a trans guy or you're not planning on getting top surgery or you're binding because you're one of the things I just described or bigender or you just want to be flat-chested, continual use will eventually break down your breast tissue and you might get a little bit saggy or flat just to begin with. Most trans guys don't really care about this because they're planning on having corrective surgery anyway. Also, the T weakens the tissue there too, so maybe that's why I've noticed it more and other people have reported it more. But if you're biologically female and you're planning on staying that way, or you're not ready to like part with them or whatever, you understand what I'm saying. Basically, keep in mind that you might not be so perky if you bind 10 hours a day every day with a really super tight binder. Over time, it's gonna damage your tissue. So recap: do it right, don't get hurt. If you have questions, contact me. I'm putting all this shit in the description. Have fun.